What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. The news just doesn't stop on Global, which is nice because it's been so long since we've actually had news that we've actually been excited to talk about, which is good. So we're talking about, once again, Luffytaro and Zorojuro coming to Global. In this particular video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Sugo Fest structure. I have just gone ahead and recorded a video talking about all of the new characters that are coming out, which I don't know what order I'm releasing these videos in, but there's a lot of videos to make today. So this particular video, as we said, we're going to be talking about the Sugo Fest structure, kind of discuss it, give my thoughts and opinions about it, and kind of just give you guys some guidance as to where's the best place to spend your gems. Now, of course, we don't have the entire information. We don't know the rates for the Sugo Fest, as in like the particular rates for each individual character. We only know that on the actual day of the Sugo Fest. We also don't know what's rate boosted on what part in terms of the other Sugo Fest exclusives that are coming out. We only know very, very little actually about this Sugo Fest, but the banner is in game, so we can have a view at the steps, we can understand what's going on. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? So the first things first, you can see right here, there's going to be a free multi-pool given out, which is really dope, right? So it's nice that they're giving out a free multi-pool because this actually came out on JP during New Year's, and I believe during this celebration they also did get a free multi-pool. Also, something to note as well is that this particular Sugo Fest falls in line with the Korean version of the games. I think it's their 4th anniversary, so shout out to Korea for getting to their 4th anniversary. That's awesome to hear. I believe the Korean anniversary will have a better Sugo Fest than Global. I think it's going to have a higher legend rate from what we have on this particular banner. But one thing that we can note as well is, like, with this banner, when we normally go to the event information, we can't see any info. But for some reason, when the free multi-pools are here, we can actually view the event information. Unfortunately, it doesn't give us much information, but we can take a little bit out of it. So it says, save the land of Wano face-off mission Sugo Fest. 1 free try at 10+1 rare recruit during the event is underway. To time, the Sugo Fest exclusive characters will also have a 2.5 times rate boost. Now, one thing I do have to say as well is that this free multi is not 2.5 times legend rate. It's only the official banners where you have to use rainbow gems. Those banners will be 2.5 times legend rate. This particular banner is not. And it does actually say in the event information as well. I have had a look at that, so just putting it out there in case anyone is confused. This particular banner is a generic flat rate red boost. It also says the new Luffytaro Zorojuro and Soba mask are going to be appearing as voiced Sugo Fest exclusive characters. Both of those characters are so good. Be extremely happy if you get either one of those guys. They are just so strong, so freaking strong. It says Limit Break expansion is also going to be available for Luffytaro and Zorojuro as well as Soba mask. So starting from this particular Sugo Fest onwards, every single debuting legend will debut with a limit break expansion. This is very, very tough for endgame players like myself because typically we want to use those materials for some of the older characters that are going to be getting some buffs. But if you do pull some of these newer characters, getting access to limit break expansion is quite enticing, especially because Soba Mask specifically, when you get him, he actually gets a buffed captain ability from the limit break expansion. Now that buff isn't that significant. It basically will slightly increase your chances of landing on a tandem slot, which if you know what the character does, that actually is a pretty big deal. So if you do get Soba Mask, you do want to limit break expand him. As for Luffy and Zoro, well, it doesn't really matter all that much. I believe all they get will just be some additional statistics. That's basically it. But it's just nice to go ahead and flaunt a limit break expanded rainbow character, you know what I mean? Either way, also the new Soba Mask Sangoro has a new captain action. Once again, I don't know when I'm uploading the video, but I basically do a full breakdown of all the characters. Soba Mask is very, very good. Brand new captain action. Furthermore, those who have appeared in the Land of Wano, new Usohachi, Franosuke, and Carrot are all here. The rare recruit batch is actually pretty good, so it's nice that all of those characters are going to be appearing, especially that Usopp. Usohachi is very, very good. One of the best generic rare recruits in the game. And it says, in this Sugo Fest, all wanted posters are going to be 4-star or better. Pretty stock standard at this point. Check the notice for more information. But yeah, it doesn't actually give us information as to what characters are going to be boosted on what parts. But then when you go over to part 2, which is available simultaneously, which I do enjoy actually, you have access to the new batch once again. You've also got Onami and also Soba Mask are going to be boosted here. That's all we know. But as for other Wano Kuni related characters, like the only other Wano Kuni related legend, isn't it just Kaido, to my knowledge? Maybe if they include Jack for some reason, but that Jack is actually from Zo, so I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to be doing. We don't know which characters are boosted on what parts, because you guys already know, for myself personally, I'm missing Chopper, V3 Kuzan, and I'm also missing Halloween Ace, so that might also depend on what part I'm going to be pulling on personally. But let's go ahead and talk about the steps for this particular banner, because they are very, very intriguing, and we weren't anticipating to get steps like this. Now, are they good steps? Well, that's for you to decide. Let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, the first step is going to be 30 rainbow gems. That's also really, really good to see. A lot of people were kind of anticipating that we weren't going to be getting a discounted multi, kind of like our anniversary Sugo Fest, where they just chose not to give us a discount. So they're doing it here, which is good to see at the very least. The third multi is going to be a guaranteed legend, just a flat out red. The second multi has nothing on it, which is a little bit crazy. I was kind of expecting maybe something on the second multi, like potentially like guaranteed new batch character or something would have been nice, but no, they're not doing that. The fifth multi, it says guaranteed limited pool Wano character. Now, on JP, when they had this Sugo Fest, they had this step exactly. This basically included any Wano Kuni related legends, so all the characters that we just talked about, but it also included all Wano Kuni related rare recruits, so the characters from Kaido's batch, like Speed, Hold'em, Rare Recruit Jack, as well as like the Komurasaki batch with like the Brook and also the Chopper, those Wano characters. Basically, any character that's a rare recruit from Wano Kuni is going to be included on this fifth multi-pull, but it just means that if you get a red, it's a pretty restricted pool of getting a really good character, right? Now, past that, though, on the sixth multi is just a guaranteed legend, again, pretty stock standard. The eighth multi, again, is a stock standard legend. The 10th multi, again, is a stock standard legends. Like, nothing really too crazy. Like, nothing that really pops out saying, you know, that this is a crazy Sugo Fest. Like, the first 10 multis are pretty, like, stock standard. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they should have probably put something, like, something kind of crazy in one of these earlier steps, but they just haven't done that. So, I don't know how I feel about that at the moment. But then you move on to the 13th step, and then it's a limited pool. The 17th, also a limited pool. The 21st step is also a limited pool legend. It doesn't end here. The 25th is also a limited pool legend. The 28th is also a limited pool legend. And then if you go to the 30th multi, you're guaranteed to get Luffy and Zoro. Now, this is kind of crazy because the first time they ever did this, where you did 30 multis to get a guaranteed new character that releases, was actually on the release of the Shanks Crew legend and the Arlong legend on JP. When those characters debuted, what part you pulled on, depending if you did 30 multis on that part, you were guaranteed to get them. Now, I have a strange feeling that when we potentially get the French Anniversary Sugo Fest, I have a strange feeling that they're going to do 20 multis for one of those guaranteed new legends. Now, as for which characters they could be, we don't know at this current point in time, but this just gets the gears churning in my head that I think that if they're going to continue doing this down the road, I have a feeling that during those huge celebrations, 20 multis for the guaranteed new unit, I feel like that's going to happen. So I just wanted to put it out there for you guys that were wondering that. I do think that's going to be a thing in the future for the French Anniversary. French Anniversary is going to be arriving late July, early August, just in case if any of you guys were wondering. But it's interesting, 30 multis for guaranteed Luffy and Zoro. I don't think it's worth it. Honestly, I don't think it's worth doing 30 multis. That is a lot of gems, dude. That is a lot of gems. That's what, 1,470 gems because of the discount as well. No, 1,480 gems, my bad. 1,480, is it? Yeah, I think it is. That's crazy. 1,480 gems. That's kind of ridiculous. Now, there are a lot of good steps along the way here. Now, the thing is you got to remember that this Sugo Fest is also a 2.5 times legend rate. So if you're doing a lot of these steps, you are going to be getting a crap load of legends. Well, you would think, right? You would think you'd be getting a crap load of legends. And then once you pass that 10th multi, every single step along the way is going to be a limited pool legend. Well, every stated step here, not every single step. If every single multi after that was a limited pool legend, holy crap, that would be godly. But unfortunately, that's not the case because you have to do 3 multis to get to that, 4 multis to get to that, then 4, then 4, then 3. There's a lot of space in between each of these limited pool legends, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't know, man. I really don't know. It is a 2.5 times legend rate at the end of the day, which is still pretty good. But it's just, I don't know how I feel about this overall. It's a lot of rainbow gems in between each of those steps. If they added an additional step in between each of those steps, I think, like, just add more steps here so that, you know, if people are spending that many gems, they should be getting way more guaranteed legends, in my personal opinion, right? Like, I don't know why you have to do 3 multis for that, then another 4, then another 4, then another 4. Like, it should just be every second should be like a new limited pool legend, in my personal opinion anyway. And this also does mean, like, what will our limited pool actually be? If our limited pool is the same as JP's, this Sugo Fest is going to be a nightmare, because on JP there were like, what, 14, 15 plus legends in the limited pool, which is just ridiculous. And as well, because these characters are the debuting legends, typically on global, high anticipated characters do not have the best of rates on their debut, so I am kind of scared to see what the rates are going to be for these characters on their given Sugo Fest. As for the part 2, it is the exact same structure here. 5th multi, you get a Land of Wano character, same exact steps. 30th multi, you get the guaranteed Sangoro, which is the Soba Mask character. So there we go. That's the quick rundown of all of the steps for the upcoming Sugo Fest. Save the Land of Wano with Soba Mask debuting and Luffytaro and Zorojuro. So let me know your thoughts and opinions about this Sugo Fest down below in the comment section. As I said, we don't have the full grasp of what's going on here. Once we get the full details as to what's boosted, because if the limited pool is like, you know, maybe 6 to 8 legends, if it's 8 legends or less, I would be pretty happy with this Sugo Fest. But we'll have to wait and see. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.